Welcome back. This is a continuation of our investigation into this hydraulic pump for David Brown 990 tractor. Just so happens that our friend the pump here is only mostly bad. There's a big difference between mostly bad and all bad, apparently. Mostly bad is slightly good. What does that mean? Well, let's find out. Keep watching and you'll see how this thing might actually be serviceable. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back out here with this hydraulic pump and we're going to take a look at something real quick. I posted a comment on the David Brown Tractor Forum and I had a response from one of the experts there, Erky. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, but I made an attempt. Sorry if it's not right. This person says that the pump just needs new O-rings, and including the long ones around the flanges. I'll take this apart here in a minute. He says that low pressure appears when axial pressure against the rotors becomes too mild. Axial pressure, I would assume, being the outward pressure on the rotors, from the rotors to the flange here. If the rings are too hard or too flat, it's not going to maintain enough oil pressure. So we're going to take a look at that. What I want to do is take a look and see if putting the new rings in, here's the new rings that I have. I ordered these from Case IH. Just a note, it has the two big rings, a seal ring for the shaft here, for the gear shaft, and it's got another smaller O-ring, I'm assuming, for up here. The kit from David Brown Parts for a seal kit for the hydraulic pump, from what I was looking at last night, has more in it, has more to it than this does. So I'll put the picture of the David Brown kit, David Brown Parts seal kit up here somewhere. It's just interesting that it had more in it, I think. But anyway, we'll see. So I'm going to take and put these two new rings on the flanges and see. And one thing he says is when the pump is put together, rotate the gear or the shaft by the fingertips. If rotating requires some torque, like say 1 Newton meter or somewhere around 9 pound-feet, I think is the conversion for that. It's a rough estimation though. There's a good chance that the pump works okay. If the axial pressure is too low, the pump will not work because of the internal leakage. So we'll test that and see if putting the seals, the new rings here on the flanges, and I'll tighten it back up. I'll put the bolts back through and tighten it back up to a degree. I won't torque it down, but we'll see if it tightens this up some. Because if you remember, and I may put a video up here of when you saw in the last video of me taking the hydraulic pump off. You saw that when I spun the gear, it took no pressure at all for me to spin the gear. And I thought that was weird at the time, but it makes perfect sense now that rotating the shaft and the gear should have some pressure associated with it. It shouldn't spin very freely at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing back apart. I'll put these seals in it just temporarily and see what I can see. I really don't think I need to really care where things go now. I got an idea. I've had this thing apart a few times. Taking a look at it. All right, where's my pick? Pick, where did you go? Come here, boy. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. There it comes. How hard that is. Remember I showed you guys in the video yesterday that I could not feel the rings. Yeah, that stands proud. You see that? you are having to reseal your pump, I guess this is a good instruction on how to put these new O-rings or seals on. Of course, Barry's video is probably the best one to show the actual process of the full rebuild. Mine's all cut up here. Okay, that's on. My fingers have got a little oil on them, so it is oiling them just a little bit. And you can see how proud they stand right there. So all I'm going to be doing here is putting this back together temporarily, just to see if the new seals cause this to have any more, to have a tighter fit when this spindle is turned. I'm wondering if I can just put 2 nuts on it. I don't think I'll put all of the nuts on. I'm just testing this thing out. I might wind up doing it, but we'll see. We're just going to see if... Holy crap! I can't even turn that with my fingers. Where'd that Woodruff key go? Please tell me I haven't lost it. Nope, there it is. That goes that way. Yeah. Wow. That does tighten it up quite a bit. Erky, I think you're right. When the pump is put together, rotate the gear by fingertips. If rotating requires some torque, say like 1 Newton meter, rough estimation, and that's around 8 pound-feet, there's a good chance the pump works okay. If the axial pressure is too low, the pump will not work because of the internal leak. Interesting. I may go ahead and just order a new pump anyway, just to have it on hand, just in case this doesn't work. But I think I'm going to try this as is. I am going to back off these nuts just a bit. I'm just going to finger tighten them. Yeah, just finger tightening is giving me a whole lot more tension there. Yes, the bearings are worn, but apparently putting a new seal, the new O-rings in there, tightens it back up. Interesting. Very interesting. One of the other posters on my forum post, one of the other commenters on my forum post was Tom Ryall, and he says he can remember getting the pump body of a 990 Impulmatic pump skimmed many years ago, and he said it worked for many years after. What I'm assuming what he's talking about there is taking and putting this in a milling machine and skimming off maybe 5 to 10 thousandths off the top with this, maybe with a fly cutter or something. to reduce the width of the body down to where the wear in the bearings wouldn't be as bad. It would be back into specification, because you remember the specification says that the total width of this here should be no more than 7 thousandths less than the width of this. And so it stands to reason what Tom Reisel is saying is that you could take and just skim the surface of this, maybe with a surface grinder or fly cutter or something, to bring the width of this down to be within spec of the difference of width of this versus this being within 7 thousandths. It's an idea, for sure. I don't necessarily have access to a milling machine. I don't know of anywhere around here. I don't know personally anybody around here with a milling machine, but there are several machine shops, and that is definitely an option. But as you saw previously, this did actually get some tension built up on the spindle once I put the new seals in. So I'm going to try it like that and see what happens. I'm actually going to reassemble it, put the PTO housing back on, mount the pump back on the tractor, seal this thing back up, put the PTO housing back on, and test it and see. I mean, what could go wrong? It could fail. That's fine. And I'll just go get another pump. It's just nuts and bolts, as Barry says. Okay, so I've got this thing torqued down, 45 foot-pounds all the way around. Now it's time to put the gear back on. So we have gear, nut, woodruff key, and a locking ring. Woodruff key goes on first. A little bit of oil. I spilled all my oil. That's why I need a little spray can. Need to pick one of those up. Put the little woodruff key in. Make sure it's seated and is straight. Okay. Gear goes on like so. The little slot goes where the key is, if I can find it. The camera's right in the way. There we go. Woohoo! All right. Locking ring. Just like so. Okay, good deal. Torque spec for this nut is, drive shaft nut is 45 foot-pounds. Yeah, I want to capture this gear in the vise. Oh, let's hope I don't break it. I think we're good to go here. Pump is assembled. Now we got to put the pressure relief valve on and the O-ring that goes here. So let me go find the O-ring that I bought to go there, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. Now the pump is together. Everything looks good with it. This is really good, I think. The next step is to get the pressure relief back on. And what I've done is I just went ahead and bought a whole bunch of O-rings that matched the hardness specifications that is in the Case IH parts manual, or parts catalog online. So I went on and I just bought a whole bunch of O-rings for the things that I'm going to be needing to do. I've got to reseal a whole bunch of stuff, take the valve chest out, replace the O-rings for all the connectors to it, clean out the valve chest, and some other things. And I just went ahead and bought a bunch of O-rings that are the thicknesses that are specified in the parts catalog. So let me find the right one here. I need a, let's see, I need a -15. I've got a spreadsheet made up that has all of the O-rings I've purchased or need. the thicknesses, how many I'm going to need, the reference number to the parts catalog, a link to the parts catalog, the catalog part name, the catalog description, and most importantly, the AS568B dash number. So I'm looking for the dash 15 for the O-ring for pressure relief to pump. Dash 15, that's 218. Dash 16, there it is, dash 15. Okay, look at this, look at the difference. Yeah, I don't know where that O-ring goes. I don't know where that goes. There was no O-ring of that size in this pump. Why in this case IH seal kit for this pump was that O-ring in? I can't figure that that's the O-ring going to the outlet, to the pipe going up to the valve chest, to the camel's humps. Glad I bought them. Just need one. I had to buy it in a pack of, I don't know, 10 on this one. Need some tape. But I am guaranteed that this is a 90 duro hardness. Most standard O-rings are 70 to 75, but the parts catalog for the hydraulic pump says 90 duro hardness on that O-ring. And if you remember in the previous video, when I took this pressure relief off, remember I could not feel the O-ring just sliding my finger over. We're about to test that here. Put a little oil on. A little oil on the O-ring. A little bit more all the way around. And guess what? I can feel it. It's proud, just like it's supposed to be. I'm guessing the David Brown Parts seal kit actually has that in it, which is quite interesting that a different seal kit from the original, from Case IH, does not. Okay, let me find my parts bucket. Pressure relief, right there. Okay, so we're ready for the pressure relief valve to be reinstalled. I've gone ahead and oiled up everything, but I'll just take you through it real quick. The shim's still stuck on there. Anyway, this piece sits down on the base right there. The shims go on here. That fits on there. Spring on there. Cap on there. Just like so. These are metric bolts, apparently. 13 millimeter. Okay, this is weird. And this is what I found when I was taking them off the first time. Originally, I had videoed something asking, what in the world kind of bolts are these? This is a 13 millimeter socket. Craftsman socket set. Back when Craftsman meant something. Does not fit. This is a 13 millimeter short. Out of the same set, 13 millimeter. It fits. I thought these were with Whitworth bolts or something. At one point, it's like, it's not standard, it's not metric, but apparently my 13 millimeter socket, long socket here, is not right. Huh. Okay. And my short won't even go on there. It's okay. I have the perfect tool for this. I'm missing my 13 millimeter wrench, but I have these things called Nipex, gear wrench, or whatever it's called. But it's got flat flat jaws, and they actually will grip with this knuckle here, and they're basically any size you want. It's like great. It's like the replacement for an adjustable wrench or adjustable spanner. You're not going to mar the surfaces. They make these in many different sizes, and I have been very pleased with these. It's like a set of wrenches. You can actually ratchet to a degree. Yeah. Just the front one I'll have a problem with. Pump goes on like so. That bolt is the one I don't need to torque. I'll get one of them torque to spec. Torque specs. Give me a sec, I need to look them up. Hydraulic system manual. How it works, unit removal and replacement. Specifications and data. Filter, hydraulic pump, pump relief valve, page 60. Page 59, actually. Pump relief valve, shim adjustment, blah, blah, blah. Valve closing pressure, valve opening pressure, tightening torques. Valve body to pump cover, 20 foot-pounds. Right there. See that? Having your manuals printed out is a good idea. This torque wrench does not do well at very low pressures, so I can't torque it with a torque wrench. But I can get close. Alright, that's 20. Click. Click. There we go. Click. I cracked myself up. You know, this is weird with me out here talking to myself. Hydraulic pump is reassembled. Take a look at this. That's about 10 foot-pounds. You know, I'm just so great at being able to sense foot-pound or pounds-feet. Yeah. All right, Erky. Erky, how do you ever say that name? We're going to try it. We're going to see what happens. I know that I have the option of getting a pump. Ooh, I should have straightened those out, but it's too late now. Whatever. Because I am not taking it back apart. I'll get it back on, get the PTO housing back assembled. Then we'll do the process of taking the valve chest out. I'll go through that entire process on my tractor. Clean it up. I am not going to disassemble the valve chest from the bracket that holds it in the tractor. I don't need to. I don't want to have to go through the adjustments for that. I don't need to take it out. All I'm going to do is take the valves out that I need to take out and blow the thing out with some compressed air, just to get some trash out of there. Maybe dip, wash it, that kind of thing. Get that thing cleaned up. But anyway, here we go. This thing's back and resealed. We're going to see how it works. This is based on one of the guys on the forum that's known to be an expert, but at least by me. This thing's much tighter. If you like this kind of content, Like and subscribe down below. Give me some feedback though. What's going on, what you like, what you don't like. Leave comments. I love it when you guys leave comments. I like reading those things. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is the update for that. This is just a few days later. I haven't even heard back yet from David Brown Parts, but because it's still the weekend. But thanks for watching, and I'll keep you updated.